the recording. Um, Second. Mute yourself until we get ready to.
Rob, good morning. I'm getting myself together. I'm getting ready to get off work, so I'll be moving around. So I'll put my camera on when I get in my vehicle.
Okay. Good day, everyone. Welcome to the Liberating Power of the Divine. Thank you all for showing up today. We want to give thanks to the Creator for giving us life, allowing us a new opportunity to experience this thing called life. We give thanks for the mercies that are new every morning. We thank God again for the very breath that's in our bodies, the very ruach that causes us to have life. We thank you for God keeping us through the night, that time when we were resting and most vulnerable, but we give thanks that we are here today to share in this time of giving. So I want to give thanks for that. I also want to remind you that we have the power to decree and to command many things. So even as I was listening to the different things on uh, Instagram and Facebook or what have you, I just want to now begin to command the order or raise the standard of God across the land. I think that's very important for you to know that you have the power to raise the standard. And when I say that, I'm talking about with all the things that are in play or trying to take over, where it may seem like the world or the enemy or whatever you want to call it is winning or taking over, trying to control, working to separate us. But we thank God that the divine, most high, Allah, Brahma, whatever you choose to call it, is in charge no matter what. So, whatever's going on around you, know this today that it is well. And as long as you are aligned and synchronized with the Creator, it doesn't matter what's happening around you. If all around you is sinking sand, remember it's on the most high, the rock that you stand. So remember the rock. Remember that it's up to you to be aligned and be in that space called there. So we thank God for that. And we dismiss the workings and the different things that are in play to distract you. We dismiss it even now because of the gates of hell shall not prevail against the church. And if you're wearing the armor, then those things cannot touch you. If you abide in the shadow of the Almighty, you don't have to worry about the noisome pestilence. You don't have to worry about the arrow at noonday and all those things that are in play. But remember, if you are not connected, then the rod and staff can't comfort you. So we give thanks right here and right now that the Lord is our shepherd and we shall not want. And it is advantageous for you to make a choice to tap in and tune in so that you know that you have the markings over your doorpost so the angel will pass over, the death angel will pass over. And we thank you even for the stories like the land of Goshen. So this team, the Liberating Power of the Divine, dwells in the land of Goshen. So the things that are happening around you shall not come nigh you. So we thank you and I give you praise, Lord, for protection. We thank you that everyone that is here and even their loved ones dwell in the sacred circle of God's love. And even in that dwelling place, you will guide our steps and nothing, no hurt, harm, or danger can come to us. And so it is and can be no other way because the words that go forth out of my mouth shall not return unto me void, but have already accomplished what they are sent out to do. We call forth healing in everyone here that has an ailment or a dis-ease, a disconnect. We call forth the divine connection right now and let the healing flow before this message is over today. If there's any pain or any distraction, it will be released. So we call forth clarity and healing in this place. And we even cover Jerry as he is working through a situation now and he's in the hospital, but it is well. So see him well. When you pray for someone, you see them whole and complete. You don't look at the issue, you look or the problem, you call and look at the solution. Even as the stories when Jesus went to pray for the people, they said, well, he's dead already. But he said, you don't come in the room. I got this. So when you're going to pray for someone and see them whole, you can't look at the sickness. That is not how you bring forth the healing. You see them whole and complete as the Creator sees them. And so it is. So we thank God for that and we give praise and we look forward to what shall come forth today. I thank you that everyone here is prepared as fertile ground to receive the seeds that will be sown today from myself as well as others. And we say, Ashe, Amen, and so it is. Okay. Who got their pad and pens? I see you over there dressed up, Mr. Kirby, looking good. And welcome to everyone. Good to see you, Lamont.
You too.
And Mother, good to see you. Star, thank you for helping. And Al and Robin. Ahmed, good to see you in the building. One day we're going to see your handsome face. Ahmed was one of my therapists, beautiful soul. So we welcome him today also. And I see you over there, Jovel. He is in motion day. Good to see you. Thank you for coming in. So let's get ready to start. So this is the topic today. Write this down because it's important. Changing the tense of your conversations. Changing the tense of your conversations. This is, you can take this message like all the rest straight to the bank. Changing the tense of your conversation. So here we go. Welcome, beloveds. I was gently awakened around 5 a.m. during the sacred hours. Normally that happens. I leaned up ever so easily because I didn't really want to look at the clock, but I leaned over to see what time it was. And then I said, okay, Father, it's about 5 in the morning. What are we doing this blessed day? That was the question that I asked. I didn't get upset because I was awake. I didn't try to fight sleep. I was like, so what is it that we are going to do? And I could hear a few words, or I mean, I could hear a few drops of rain hitting on the air conditioning outside. Then there was this sacred soundness that filled the space. Have you ever woke up in the morning at that time and it's such a still quietness that it's almost a ringing in your ear because it's so quiet? Anybody ever experienced that? So there was a stillness that carried a perfect pitch, a frequency that filled my ears. It was almost like a little ringing sound, yet it was very still and very peaceful. And I lay waiting and eagerly anticipating what was source going to give me, what was going to be the information, what was going to be downloaded. And then I could hear, you know, behold, I am here, always ever present in the space, in the air. Then in the next breath, the sound began to shift and the frequency that I could hear in my ear began to change as I listened, and the ringing disappeared. And then it was a different sound in the stillness. And then I could hear the beautiful words begin to flow. It was echoing through, it was like a conscious reminding, but it was a divine sound. And it was the voice of Shantae Moore. And the words were this: hello, my love. Before the sun rises, after it goes down, I love you. I love you. I say it over and over again. And those words moved through the atmosphere of my awareness. It was no longer just a song, it became a transmission from the Creator, a reassurance, a divine whisper wrapped in the medley of I love you, I love you. I say it over and over again. It was a divine whisper. And the other words are relax your mind. We can be free together. Take our time, even through the tears. I'm staying right here. I'm waiting right here. Even as the message acknowledged the reality we are going through some hard times, the conclusion was already sealed. It was already sealed. It will be all right, because that's the name of the song. Everything's all right. Now, hear this clearly. You can hear these songs, and some church folks will be like, oh my God, you listen to that music or the secular music? That is all God. That's why they're number one on the billboard, and the gospel stuff is in the bottom of the rack. But anyway, I'm just saying, God speaks in many different ways, and that was a clear message. It's all right. Anybody know that song by Shante Moore? It's all right. It's all right.
Yeah,
But
I remember that.
yeah, so I could, those words were echoing in my spirit. And now hear this clearly. The Most High is letting you, each of you, know everything is all right. Not because circumstances say so, because what's happening around you may not point to that it's all right. However, the Creator's letting you know it's all right. But because Source has already spoken, so that's why it's okay. God already, the game has already been won. You just have to know that. And the silent yet ever present question becomes, do you trust, and are you truly tapped in to the love supreme? That's a question that only you can answer. Are you tapped in? Do you trust? And do you believe that with all that is happening, it's all right? Okay. Just wanted to leave that there for a minute. Just let that sink in. Are you okay? Do you trust? And this presence that knows all, and is expressing itself as you, as me, let us anchor this in the word so there is no confusion. So I got to give you some scripture here from the King James Version, Lamentations 3:22. Lamentations 3:22-23. It is of the Lord's mercies that we are not consumed. They are new every morning. Great is thy faithfulness. You know that song, Great is thy faithfulness. And so, and in the Message Bible renders it with living breath. God's loyal love couldn't have run out. His merciful love couldn't have dried up. They are created new every morning. How great is your faithfulness? So I went to a couple different versions of that verse. Even the ancient wisdom from the Ethiopian Bible echoes the same eternal rhythm: renewal, restoration, and divine covering, not as an event, but as a state of being all the time. It is all right, supplied by the Most High. And the Quran in the Surah 55:29 reminds us every day he is bringing about a matter. So the Creator has it, but do you trust in that? Meaning, there is never a moment where the divine is inactive in your life. Do you hear this? There is never a moment that the Creator is not with you. What happens is we may drift away in our own thought process, but God never leaves you nor forsakes you. There is never a gap in provision. There is never a pause in presence. And this might ruffle some feathers, but you hear people in the church and be like, we got to get in his presence, get in his presence. Well, you shouldn't have got out. I'm just saying, those are my thoughts. I be thinking, well, why didn't it say that, lo, I am always with thee? You hear that in all different versions, but then people say, well, they going on home to be with the Lord, and we got to get in his presence. And I'm thinking, well, why you keep getting out, and where you going, and why you ain't with God on a regular basis? Because they keep saying that they're not with him. So anyway, I don't know where they be. Anyway, so that's food for thought. God is always present. Let's take it further. As it is written in the King James Version, Psalms 23:3. Anybody know what that is without me going into it? Psalms 23:3. Yeah. He restoreth my soul. He restoreth my soul. And in the message, it says, you let me catch my breath and send me in the right direction. God allows you to catch your breath and will point you in the right direction if you follow. You understand this? You all with me? Just want to make sure you're not asleep or playing tic-tac-toe. So this is not just comfort. This is recalibration. This is divine realignment. So when I say to you, Drink from these living waters that are coming forth now. I'm not speaking poetically alone. I'm speaking of a conscious decision to trust, to receive, and to know, because the invitation is always present. God is saying, come up higher, come nigh. People always, they find themselves in other places, but all you have to do is come closer and commune with your creator, and things are changed. Do you understand? At least raise your hand so I know we're here together. When you're sitting in a meeting, people say, okay, can I get an amen? Or they want you to do stuff. I just want you to raise your hand so I know that you're receiving what I'm saying. The question is never whether God is there. The question is, will you align with what has already been declared? You guys ready to align today? Let us now segue into the other aspect of the message God is shaping. All right, so fasten your seatbelt. Whatever you got to do, let's go a little further. For the last 5 weeks, we had 5 sessions of Take Me Home. Remember that, guys? We had 5 master classes back to back. We have been given precious, priceless, life-changing, divine instruction pertaining to returning home. Take me home. I speak life right here and right now. Every seed that was sown at that time from the 5 weeks, that it is safe and sound and fertile ground, meaning within you, coming forth right here and right now, that those seeds are producing what needs to be produced. They're growing up in you. Now let us come into awareness. Are you aware of your conversations? This is what this message is all about. I really pray that you hear this and that you're listening, and it will begin to cause you to learn more. So listen to this again. Right here. Are you aware of your conversations? Please hear me. Are you being intentional? Robin likes that word too. Are you being intentional and deliberate in what you say to yourself, to others, and about all things? You could take this to the bank. This is another masterclass. We all share a common habit. Every one of us, I like to talk about being in first person, but check this out. We all have one common habit. Do you have any idea what that is? Anybody know what we have in common? Just random. There's no right or wrong answers. Do you think you may know what we all have in common? Somebody just give me an answer.
Conversations we have with ourselves.
I like that. Come on, Mo. What you got to say over there? I can't see you.
Sweets.
She says, "What'd you say?"
Sweets. Candy. Sweets.
My mother says sweets. I ain't messing with her. Mo, are you with us, or you just got that screen up? I don't hear you. Angel, give me an answer. What do we all have in common?
Selfishness.
Okay.
Word with the Lord. We all talk to him just in different ways.
All right. So here we go. And so I asked you what we all have in common. Talking to ourselves.
Got that right.
We all talk to ourselves. They always tell you don't talk to yourself because you're crazy, but guess what? We all talk to ourselves.
As long as we don't answer back, we okay.
No, you need to answer. I'm gonna help you out with that. You better answer
You
yourself.
better answer back.
So listen, and the thing is, again, we all share in common, and the thing that is most important is what is being said, because that is what makes a difference. What are you saying to yourself all day long? What are you giving the most airtime? Because your inward conversations create your tomorrows, which are actually your today. Did y'all hear that?
Mm-hmm.
We can stop right now. Think about what you just said to yourself yesterday, what you said a few minutes ago about yourself.
Well, I tell you this.
Okay. Y'all hear me?
Yeah, I hear you, Rob.
Okay, Al. Let's go.
Ask your question.
Go on.
Why do most of us don't take care of tomorrow today. You know what I mean by that?
Go on.
I explain. What I'm talking about is me and my wife purchased 2 plots, gray plots, about 15, maybe more years ago, because I'm trying to set things up. So when we have to transition, there's no fighting about money and all that, because we're putting all of that in place. And so I'm glad. All I got to do now is pick me out a headstone and a casket. I don't want a casket. I want one of them Jewish wooden boxes. They cost about $300.
Okay, that's all great. And
No, because I think you spend $10,000 for a casket. You don't think they go back and get that casket and clean it off? I believe they do.
okay, and that's fine. So let's move forward here. But I'm going to talk about what you just said. It's always great to plan and do those things. And that is important to make a note of that. What I'm bringing home to you right here and right now, I want to reiterate it because it's important. The inward conversations are not passive, they are formative. They are the architect of our life experience, everything that you say. And let me go further. Now let us anchor this in truth, as it is written in the King James Version that most people read, Hebrews 11:3. Hebrews 11:3. Let me take this down and give it to you. Through faith, we understand that the worlds were framed by the word of God, so that things which are seen were not made things which do appear. And the Message brings it into a living language. The act of faith is what distinguished our ancestors. We see that the world was called into existence by God's words, what we see created by what we don't see. Let me keep on and explain a little further. Even the ancient current carried within the Ethiopian Bible affirms the same divine pattern: creation emerging from the unseen word, the invisible giving birth to the visible. Are you following me? It may sound strange, but the things that you don't even speak out loud, but you're saying in here, begin to manifest outside, because you are in the likeness and image of God. So when you keep saying something and you keep damning yourself, that's why you're having the damn experience, because you keep damning yourself with your words. Now, let me go a little further. In the Quran, in the Surah 36:32, when he decrees a matter, he only says to it, be, and it is. So whatever you say is and will be so. Let's continue. So then let us reason together. If source said, let there be, and there was, and we are direct extensions of that source, are we not co-creators in this story called life? Anybody think that they are co-creator? All right. This also means you possess power granted from the beginning, not borrowed, not temporary, but inherent. As it is written in the King James Version, John 1:1. John 1:1. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. So then I ask you plainly, are you too the Word made flesh? Just a question. Are you the Word made flesh? Because people always want to talk about Jesus, 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 but you are that also. Let's continue, Jesus. Somebody will get that. Where we at? Where we at? So here we go. Now, here is where the disconnect lies. Most people don't know the power they possess. Do you have any idea that you possess all the power? Raise your hand if you believe you possess divine power. If you believe that. All right. And even more, they never give thought to the power of their constant internal conversations. So once again, it becomes essential that we as mankind learn to live consciously, to be aware, because the word does not only go out, it also circulates within. And hear this warning clearly, with clarity, from the King James Version. Listen to this. I'm going to mess with you a little bit today. I'm in the King James, in Matthew 12:36. Make a note of that. Matthew 12:36. Every idle word that men shall speak, they shall give account thereof. For by thy words shalt be justified, and by thy words thou shalt be what? Condemned. That makes sense? So
Yep.
everything you say, every idle word. Now let me just mess with you with the idle. Look up the word idle. That means giving no thought. So people say stupid stuff all day long. And my old bad, this old bad knee. Ooh, my back, my neck.
I know
And,
it too.
ooh, my diabetes and my, yeah, I got, Nick. Oh, I know the customer. They got everything. You know, this is the doctor told me, yeah, I got that. I got that. I don't even want to say what they got. They be gotten everything, and they own it. You know, my cancer is going down.
But,
Somebody told me the other day, he says, you know, I got prostate cancer, Rob. I said, oh, okay. What am I supposed to say to that? I said, then I did, you know, it was in my head for a minute. I was like, so do you think it can change? That was my question. Do you think it can change? Can it be healed? You know, that was my thought. Mom, we can hear you. I don't know what's, yeah, we're good. It's like, what do you think it can change? Because people own that stuff. Sickness. They make it personal. So it has to stay. It can't go. So, and I hear conversations all day. If you don't talk and you listen, you will learn a whole hell of a lot. Don't talk. You wait 1 second, you talk, you don't say nothing, and you just sit. You hear most people's conversation is 90% negative. You know, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to make it, and I ain't got enough money, and it's too expensive to go. Bye. I'm just gonna go walk by myself because it's so much sugar, honey, and ice and tea. They'd be like, "Yo, chill. Can we just think of something positive for a minute?" Wusa, okay, mother, you got one moment to speak, and I'm going to continue. Here we go. Unmute yourself because so you can say what you wanted to say.
I was just reading what you had just said. But in Matthew, it says, verse 36, and I tell you that on the judgment day, people will be responsible for every careless thing they have said.
Okay, let me help with that judgment day because most people think it's gonna come in 19 or 30,000. Let me tell you, you judge yourself right in 2 seconds. Karma be right there, slap you in the head. You understand? It's like people don't preach you away. It's gonna happen later, and I'll stand before God, and it'll be all right. Listen, you say something crazy right now, my back hurt all the time. That's why you still taking Advil every day because you keep saying my back hurt every day. It can't change because you own it, you confess it, you speak it into existence. I always have pain. Okay, then keep it. Whatever. Let me go on over here and do something else. I ain't gonna keep that crap. I'm just trying to help somebody. You want to get better, then change your mind and your ass will follow. This is not merely about spoken words aloud. This includes the silent conversations that never leave your lips. You ain't got to say nothing all day. You talk about yourself all day long. I look in the mirror and I be like, I said, stop it. You want to point, look, my eyes swollen, my eyes all put. Then you want to talk about your face. Anybody ever did that besides me? Okay, you tear yourself completely down. It's like, stop doing that. You are wonderfully made. You are a rare treasure, a chosen generation. Okay, now they want to talk. There was confirmation, a chosen generation. We are royal priesthood. Ain't nobody else look like you. Stop saying you ugly. You are beautiful. God made you. Ain't nobody as fly as you. Okay, whatever. Let me move forward because I'm ready to just yell at something. I just want you
I'm
to get it.
enough.
What?
I'm enough.
Okay, be enough. I like that. Stay that way now. I like that. Listen, there is an internal dialogue running constantly every moment, and most are unaware of what they are saying about themselves, So the instruction becomes clear. Changing the tense of your conversation is essential. Anybody agree with me? Raise your hand. Changing the conversation tense is essential. Your word is bond. More than likely, you've heard that around the way. Anybody ever heard that my word is bond? You heard somebody say it before? Okay. But do you understand what it means? A bond is something that
Mm.
binds, it fastens or holds together a cord, a ligament, or something that ties one state to another. So when you opening your mouth or you're saying it internally, you're creating bonds with something. Again, in Matthew 12:37, Matthew 12:37 confirms, by thy words thou shalt be justified, and by thy words thou shalt be condemned. The King James Version, Proverbs 13:3. Proverbs 13:3. He that keepeth his mouth keepeth his life, but he that openeth wide his lips shall have destruction. Some people got a big mouth. They don't shut up. You ever heard that song? You got a big mouth. Anyway. And further instruction, Ephesians 4.
Excuse me.
Go on.
No, what was the one right after Matthew 12:37?
Proverbs 13:3. Proverbs 13:3. And so let's write this one down to Ephesians 4:29 through 30. Ephesians 4:29-30. Let no corrupt communication proceed out of your mouth, but that which is good, that it may minister grace and grieve not the Holy Spirit. It's not even that complicated. It's just changing your words. You could say, you look really nice, or you could say, ugh. You ain't even got to say nothing. You could make a sound and it's just ugly. It's just wrong, in that sense. So let us be mindful of what we're saying. I'm not saying go crazy with every little thought, but if you find that it's going too far to the left or to the right, just bring it back into alignment. Take me home. Okay. Now let us bring this into deeper understanding. The word. Word means an utterance, an expression, a carrier of meaning. It is not empty. It is not neutral. Words carry vibration. Do you know that your word carries a vibration?
Yes.
It carries a vibration. Now let me explain. Whether it's come on, whether spoken or unspoken, your word carries a vibration. Okay. This still register. They still impress upon the mind, the body, and the environment. Whatever you're saying, a word can make you feel light. A word can make you feel heavy. It can make you feel warm or cold, and it can even influence what you perceive as color, tone, and atmosphere. So then understand this clearly. Words are not just language, they are frequency, and frequency shapes your experience. Words like fear, doubt, and anger, hate, resentment, they weigh upon the system. They mess with your nervous system. They pull down the very cells of your body, becoming the root of dis-ease and disorder. Do you understand that? Just by those words I just spoke, anger, doubt, resentment, they have a different vibration. But words like health, happiness, love, success, prosperity, they elevate, they harmonize, they align you with the higher state of being. It makes you feel good when you talk about, oh, that money I got and how it makes you feel. You change those words, you change your vibration. Anybody with me? Now listen to the wisdom flowing through the invisible mentor, this lady, Florence Scovel. Power is never moved. When a man stands calm, serene, when he remains content, even when appearances are against him, he has reached mastery. That means when stuff is jumping off and wilding up, but if you're calm and you trust the God and you're serene, you have reached mastery. Then he has the power to rebuke the winds and the waves, to control conditions. How many on here actually think that they can control conditions, or you don't think so? We're going to talk about that. Do you think you can?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. It is possible, but you have to be aligned and in sync. It is impossible for someone who's not in line because they have no idea that you can actually tell the wind to be still. God gave you all this power, but not only a few will ever access it. Like they tell you with the scientific way, it's like if you access that little, how much of the brain do people use? Like 10%. But if you access more, then you see the movies they make with Limitless, then you could do everything. You don't have to be crazy because they're not going to let it, they're not going to show you in the movie how to make it work real easy. They got to make it look complicated and crazy so that you won't tap into your greater self. But you have the power. Has anyone ever spoke to an animal and said, like a dog that was maybe coming at you, and you like, stop it?
Yes,
Oh, if you recognize who you are, the dog will recognize, like, oh, we
that's
got
right.
one, and they'll stop. They won't jump on you. But if you start running in fear, they'll tear, and they don't even know when you mess with you. They just barking at you and scare you half to that because you don't realize the power you have. But when you look, even when you look at, like back in the day, because I know some of your parents will give you that look. They didn't say nothing. It was a look, but it was an authoritative look because of where they were, and they could look at you and get you all together. Anybody know what I'm talking about?
Yes,
You didn't play back then. See, these people don't have that look. They don't have the authority because they're not in the line. And you can still do that to a child like right today that's crazy, but you look at them, they'll tighten up. My mother
yep.
happened with one of my cousins. She walked in the room and he about to start crying. He's like, oh my God. Because she was just giving that look like, boy, and he would get in line. So we have to know what the power that we possess. Now, so you can again rebuke the winds and the waves. Why? Because when you're in that position, you are no longer reacting, you begin to create. He knows you will know his universal supply is endless, immediate, and all he needs must manifest on the external. If you trust it, you can speak it and it'll happen because the internal word has already spoken. But it has to come
Amen.
from within to come without. So as we move forward, let this settle within you, not just as information, but as an activation, so you can begin to use your power in that sense. And using power is not to abuse it, but knowing how to use it and allow the Most High to give you the directive on how to use it, when and where to use it. You're not
Yeah.
merely speaking words, you are issuing a decree, you are commanding. Life is a boomerang. Every time you open your mouth, you throw that boomerang and it's coming back to you. So I work tenaciously to be as gracious as possible because I don't want that boomerang to hit me back in the head. That old ugly so and so. Then you get hit in the head because somebody go get you back. And it's like, do you know that happens? You ever
Yeah.
seen that happen? You just run in your mouth and then they say, "Ooh," then something happened and you're like, "Oh man." Yeah, because life is a boomerang and it's going to come back. So be mindful to learn and begin to master oneself. One's conversation will rearrange your entire life. His or her experience and a new show will be played on what we call the screen of life. So if you begin to practice this week by changing your words, I can guarantee you that you will see the difference if you choose to give it a go. Um, so listen to this. There's some more words people say. Do you have any issues? Anybody here got issues?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so here we go. The key word, it's you, is issue. It's you, issue. With a certain individual who seems, anybody here feel like somebody at work don't like you, or somewhere in the neighborhood, she don't like me? Anybody ever felt like that? Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so check this out. Do you have an employee or a coworker with whom you seem to have a conflict with? Anybody ever felt that or feel like I don't, that they don't like me? Okay.
I got issues like a box of tissues.
Okay, so now let's go deeper to see why this exists and what can be done to make these reactions better. You ready for that? What are you what are your inward conversations about that said person? I'm gonna bring it home now. What's your conversation that you having? Because I know I had a few. Are you even aware that you are having mental conversations with and about them? Know this truth. The only way to change the story is to change the conversation in you or inwardly just as consistently as it has been rehearsed negatively. You got that? Okay, anybody in here be talking about, that when I get to work, because I want that, what, to say something to me. I'm going to get her. You already had a whole conversation. She over there probably having tea, ain't thinking about you, but you ready to fight and you at home. Am I the only one that ever did that? Because when I get there, I wish she would say something to me. You ready to take her out, and she over there eating a bagel, ain't thinking about you, but you done had a whole conversation. So let's bring it home. You got to change your conversation about that person. And then the universal law means it would have to change. Okay, let's go a little further. Do you agree that we are the writer and the author, the director and the actor and the editor in our life story? Anybody agree with that? Okay, we got 2 people, 3 people can do it. The characters, people in your life experience will only echo that which you whisper in secret. You ever said something in your head and somebody else said it back to you? I mean, I'm just trying to give you some real life stories here. They will echo the secrets that you keep in your head. Have you ever said something inwardly, good, bad, or indifferent, and then had someone speak it right back to you? That's how powerful we are. So it could be for your good, it could be for your betterment, or it could be for your detriment. One must be honest with oneself about the conversations being held about the person or persons you feel that don't like you, because you're creating this on your own with your own conversations. If you stop and change your inward conversation about them, you will see the change manifest. That's, I can guarantee you, money back guarantee. You change your conversation and that person will change, because now you're rewriting the script. You're not controlling nobody. You're changing you. And so the world and the events around you must change accordingly. And this is also true of the conversations about yourself. Hello, somebody. You got to talk good about yourself, or you going to always be where you are or were. Every thought seed sown or allowed to fall in the mind and take root produces its own result, blossoming sooner or later into action, bearing fruit in opportunity and circumstances. Good thoughts bear good fruit. Unconscious or misaligned thoughts bear their own fruit as well. Capiche? Je vais comprendre? Entiende? I got to make sure my audience is with me. We need to know more than one little language, a little bit. You know what I'm saying? We got to know a little something so we can make sure we on the same page. The outer world of circumstances shapes itself according to the inner world of thought. What am I thinking? Is the question you could ask. And both pleasant and unpleasant conditions serve the ultimate good of the individual. As the reaper of your own harvest, you learn through both suffering and bliss. Imagination is creation. What are you imagining? So let us begin to imagine, or better yet, let us begin to have a different conversation with the people you have been fighting with in your mind. Do y'all think y'all could do that? Have a different conversation? And if you can't, then you keep going through this. Keep going through that. Through that. Whatever you're dealing with. So, and I said, imagine. Keyword is imagine, because this must take place inwardly. So you got to do this. This is an inside job. Our words are creating the future, not the past that is behind us. Thus, your inward conversations are creating your what? Tomorrows, which are your today. Now, let this question sit with you. How many of us have practiced knowingly or unwillingly holding people to who they were a long time ago? You know what I'm saying? Well, I know how you, that's what you, but they may have changed. Let's go a little further. Instead of allowing them to be who they have become, simply because we refuse to change the inward conversation. No, I know how he is, but he ain't that way no more. But you will not let him be who he is, because you said, no, I know him. I know how he used to be. And so you never let that go, so they can never be somebody better for you. Are we clear? So that means, again, you got to start with you. It ain't about them. Start with the man in the mirror. Make that change. It's the man in the mirror. Let's go further. How often, I want to see a show of hands. We're going to have confessions. We can set ourselves free today. How often do you revisit an old situation, replay an old scene, rehearse an old wound in your mind? Anybody ever do that? Well, I got some honest people over here.
I've done that before in the past.
Okay.
Yeah.
We got a few honest people. Now let's go here. The point I want to bring up is this: the past is just that, the past. However, it cannot remain the past if you keep nourishing it. Every time you revisit something in the past, Mother Kirby or Cardinal, every time you revisit something in the past, speak on it, Al, rehearse it, Mo, you relive it. You relive it, you revive it, and you feed it. Are we clear? And what you feed begins to live. This brings us to the word from the King James Bible. Let's go here in Philippians 3:13. Philippians 3:13. Forgetting those things which are behind and reaching forth unto those things which are before, I press toward the mark. And the message says it this way: I'm not looking back, I'm looking forward. I'm off running and I'm not turning back. Now, listen to this. The only way forward and upward is to let go of the past. But I want to say this is very important. Now, let me refine the next point so it lands clear. We are aware what happened in the past. We are not called to dwell there. You need to know what you've been through, because if you forget, you might be doomed to repeat. Are we clear? Because it may say forgetting those things, but I ain't no doggone well. I ain't forget, because I don't want to do that again. You with me, Cornell? You don't want to have to repeat that. So when they say you should forget what happened, no, hell to the no. I'm not forgetting what happened, because I don't want to do that again. You with me, Robin? So we should be aware. You just don't have to dwell on that. You don't dwell on what Uncle Ray did. I know what he did, but I know that ain't gonna happen no more, because I don't have to go back to that. You are aware that it's about awareness, which is important. So we acknowledge the lesson without reliving the pain. We extract the wisdom without replanting the experience. It is not required to keep revisiting the past in order to move forward. You can look back, but you don't get stuck down memory lane. Back down memory lane.
That's heavy.
Baby, you go back down memory lane, you get stuck. You be like, oh my God, how do I get back to, up the road? So if you want change, then you must be the change you desire to see. Now let's go even deeper. Do you know what you want in life? Who knows what they want in life? Well, I do. Me and Stars. Okay. Do anybody have an idea what you want in life? Mother, do you know what you want in life? She don't know yet. How about you, Kirby? You know what you want? If you don't, it's okay. Ain't no wrong or right. Lamont, you know what you want? Nobody don't know. Okay. Let me help you.
Well, I was going to say something about that. Sometimes what I want, I don't know if I should want it, because it seems senseless to want so much in this life, and then one day you got to depart this life and you don't take anything with you.
Okay, I hear that. I hear you.
I want to get all I could get. You know what I've been doing? I've been looking at luxury mansions every day, because I'm going to buy one.
Okay.
I decree that. I believe that I'm going to achieve it.
Great.
That's what I want. And I want all I could get. I don't care what I don't take with me. I came with nothing. I'm going to leave with nothing.
So it's called about the abundant life, and you can have it all. No, I'm messing with y'all because they were talking about Reverend Ike last night, but Reverend Ike said, listen, you can wait to get your cake and all that. I'm going to eat my cake and I'm going to have some icing and all that on top. And if you want to drive a Pinto, fine, but I'm going to have me a Rolls Royce. I'm with that. And you can have everything if you can see it, you can be it. But if you have another story, it's okay. It ain't nothing wrong with you riding in a Ford. I love a Mercedes. Oh, and then people are trying to talk you out of why you like that because no, that works for me. And that's what you're getting with Reverend Mike. He used to take the old furs and put them. They had his car. He would put the fur on the floor of the car, the furs that were going bad. They would put them because he said, "I want to feel that." What's wrong with that? And you used to walking on that indoor outdoor carpet. I'm gonna tell you one thing, son. When you get that plush carpet, it changes the whole feeling. Anybody know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
You want to get the good stuff, but not everybody wants that. Some people are from the projects, and it's no shade. It's okay. But if you change your mind or you get another vision, things can change. But that's always up to the individual. Nobody ain't judging. And if you feel like, what's the point? Then perhaps that's where you will be, and it's okay. No one has a right to judge that. But if you want more, it is attainable, is what I want you to know. It's available. But if you don't believe, you can't achieve it. So we're going to talk a little bit more to help get that. If you want change, then you must be the change you desire, and you have to know what you want. If you don't know what you don't, if you don't know what you want, life will give you that experience of not knowing. That's the exact equalness, or the law of attraction is going to give you that. If you say, well, I really don't know, so we have to give you more of I don't know until you become knowing. When you become knowing, and you said, and you, well, Al talked about looking at, we talked about for the last 5 weeks, learning to live from the wish fulfilled. So, and look, in nothing wrong with what he just said. You don't want to keep wishing and looking for it. You want to live from it. So imagine what it feels like. Imagine what your friends would say, if they're friends, what the conversation they would say when you were sitting in your mansion with 10 bedrooms. But what does that feel like? Until you can get full of the feeling and speak from the wish fulfilled, you'll always be saying, well, that's where the rich people live, because you separate yourself from those things. Is this making any sense? I'm just working to help you get to the place where that chair you're sitting in is the royal chair of the gods, and I'm sitting in my chair. And that means you're in a heavenly place, which is higher up or heaved up. Heaven heaved up, not in a low place. So the visions has to change. There's a pigeon, and then there's other kind of birds, and then there's an eagle. They're all birds, but they have different visions. So the pigeon can only see the ass in front of him, and they fighting for that. You see the pigeons when they fighting for a crumb, but the eagle can see all around, and so he has a different vision. It's up to us to change the position of where we are. So we're not always looking at the ass in front of us, but we have a different vision that can see everything. Now, it is again. Let me go a little further here. Are you in agreement with what you say you want? Because if you're not in agreement with it, there is a controversy. Like when people keep saying, I'm trying to stop smoking. No, because I played that game, so I can say that for myself. Either you will, you won't, you do or you don't, you is or you ain't. So I told you I would confess about smoking my Newport. It was a good, but everybody didn't know I smoked. I kept saying, well, I'm going to stop smoking. And instead of buying a pack, I would go buy a Lucy. How was that helping? It just wasn't a whole pack. So then I just hide and smoke my little cigarette when I felt like I needed to do that. But then I remember a friend of mine, we were having a conversation, and somebody was like, well, y'all smoke? It's like, well, when I decide I don't want to smoke no more, I'll stop. And there came a day when I didn't want to smoke anymore, and I was done. But I made that decision. And so I'm not here to point out that you shouldn't do that, and you should listen, do what you do. But when you get sick and tired of being sick and tired of that, you'll stop. Anybody know what I'm talking about? We talked about some porn issues last night, and people was like, oh, stop it. Come on now. Let's be grown. I mean, everybody's got some kind of vice or whatever. But again, people don't like to be authentic or be
Real.
real. There we go. Be real, authentic, responsible, all those good things. But as we continue to move forward, you've heard where two or more agree, listen to this, the agreement begins with yourself. So if you really are wanting or desiring a mansion, you got to know that you can have that. You got to get into agreement with it. If not, you can be like, man, I'm just used to living in Brownsville. So you ain't ready to go on top of the hill because you have a Brownsville mentality. Not knocking everybody from Brownsville. Let me leave that alone. Somebody might get mad from Brooklyn. The Brooklyn way. Okay, let me move a little bit further. The agreement begins with oneself. Your inward conversations, your beliefs must agree with your desire. You with me? You got to believe that you can have that. If you can't see it, you can't be it. As it is written in the King James Version, Proverbs 29:18, where there is no vision, what happens with the people? Somebody tell me.
People perish.
Thank you, Joel. Where there is no vision, the people perish. If you can't see it, you can't have it. You can't build a building, you ain't got a blueprint. So your inward conversations must align with your desired state or it will not materialize. You must learn to talk from the dream fulfilled. Write that down. You must learn to talk from the dream fulfilled. Not maybe it will, not I hope this time. Well, I talked to somebody the other day and I said, well, we decree the health. I gave all these things, wonderful words. And they said, well, I'm hoping by next week, maybe something to change. I was like, I hear you. Because maybe we have almost just negated that whole prayer because you're wishing and you're hoping. You don't trust that God can do it. Do you believe God can do it? Go to church. These niggas don't believe that. I mean, people.
You said it right.
They don't believe, they be like, Jesus, 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 Jesus. And they'll drop a bomb around the corner and be like, oh my God, what are we going to do now? I thought you believed in Jesus.
It's a process.
Amen.
It is a process,
Amen.
but some people stay stuck in the process. They never get to where they're going.
That's right.
So, but how good okay, check this out. So stop saying not, maybe it will, I hope, but how good it is to have more than enough. Thank God I don't have to worry about my bills. See that different change in it? Thank God I got plenty of money. I don't have to worry about that no more. That changes the whole vibration. I'm so grateful. My body feels amazing. I don't hurt as I used to. Somebody write that down. I'm so grateful my body feels amazing. I don't hurt as I used to. That's a good statement because now you're changing the conversation. You're living from the new place versus I always, oh, my back, my neck. I ain't gonna sing the rest of that song. Let me go on here. And if you find yourself wondering when, hoping it will, wishing, doubting, just gently return home. Return to the sacred, safe space, knowing God is my rock. God is my salvation, my all in all. And that knowing I have nothing to fear. I have nothing to fear. And you can say Ashe, which means and so it is. Now let us make, somebody said something? No, okay. Now let us make this practical. There is an internal conversation constantly going on within you every moment. Most are not aware of what they're saying about themselves. Listen to the common language right here. I know somebody right now, and I'm finding ways to communicate so they stop doing this. This is what people say a lot of times. That's way too expensive for me. I don't know how I'm going to pay this. My back hurts all the time. They always give me a hard time. I am sick and tired. I can't ever seem to get a break. Thousands upon thousands of thoughts move through the mind daily, and most go unobserved, and they say all those things. Anybody ever said those words? Or y'all are all saved? Hallelujah. You say this stuff and you don't realize the power in that. So it has to be made manifest on the screen of life for you. Yet these conversations are shaping your life, your experience moment by moment. This girl looked at me the other day. She started making a face. And I'm not that sympathetic. She's, Rob, my back, it just be hurting. I said, I hear you. You need to do some more stretches. I want to encourage you, but it's like, come on, I can't drop down with you like, my back. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to make it no more. I done been to the doctor. They told me they can't find it. And I said, because you keep trying to make them find something. Stand up, look up and live. Okay. Anyway, this is happening in real time right here and right now. You are sending out commands. You can command anything, Carnell. You can command anything, and you are doing it all the time, even when you don't know it. You're always commanding. Now, each time you feel a symptom and declare, I am sick, you affirm sickness.
That's right.
Anybody ever did that? I'm so sick. Okay, so
Mm.
you affirm this. Each time you say, here we go again, I'm trying to help you, you reaffirm that cycle and you got to get back on that, what they call that thing that go around the carousel. You got to go right on back around. Here we go again.
Merry-go-round.
Okay,
Rob,
that's what I was trying to thank you.
my reference point, Thanksgiving, when I didn't want to make the turkey, I kept saying, I don't feel like making no turkey. I ended up sick on Thanksgiving morning. So
She kept saying
I
that.
spoke it into existence. Yes.
Yeah, Robin called. She said, Rob, I can't even go to the event now because she kept saying, I do not want to go. I don't want to be bothered with that. She said, oh, now I'm sick. I couldn't go. But she learned from that versus here we go again. Listen to this. You reaffirm the cycle when you see something you desire and say, I wish I had that, you affirm, I don't have it. Are we clear? So again, the word instructs us from the King James Version. We're going to go here first. Philippians 4:8. Philippians 4:8. Take it to the bank. Whatsoever things are true, honest, just, pure, lovely, think on those things. It ain't never say think about nothing you can't. It said think on these things that are lovely and all that, because you are always sending commands to the subconscious, and it always responds without argument. Are we clear? So whatever you keep doing, it's gonna come back to you.
That's true.
All
All
right.
those things that not as though they are.
Yes. Now, and it always responds without argument. It's gonna always give you whatever you're dealing with. What you say, I like this one. What you say is what is received. I almost went through the flip wisdom. What you see is what you get. But
I
what you
thought that's
say,
what you were going to say.
right? What you say is what is received. What you feel energizes what is said. Now, understand this with balance. You may not be able to monitor every single thought. You can't do that. Don't even trip out. But by becoming aware, you can begin to redirect your thoughts. That's how much power you got. I can change my thought to this or that. And that makes all the difference. So again, I say be aware of your daily internal conversation. And when you find yourself drifting into doubt, to fear, or uncertainty, just gently return home to that sacred knowing God is my rock, God is my salvation, my all in all. And in this truth, I have nothing to fear. Ashe. Now, receive this final wisdom from the invisible mentor, As a Man Thinketh. That's a book. Joel, you heard of that one? As a Man Thinketh?
As a man thinketh, so is he.
Right. That's a scripture, but I'm talking about that book by
The book,
James.
yeah, I heard about it. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a very small book.
Very small, and it'll change your life. It's a small book. You only begin to be when you cease to whine and revel. You only begin to be when you cease to whine and revel, and begin to search for the hidden justice which regulates your life. When you stop blaming, when you stop reacting, and when you begin to align your mind with truth, you stop fighting life and you begin to using life as a tool for elevation, as a pathway to discover the hidden power within you. Here is a simple practice. I'm going to give you a practice and then we're complete for today. This is only a suggestion. What do they tell you in the 12s? I mean, a suggestion is something you can use right now, or you can put it on the shelf. You ain't never got to use it, but you might suffer because you don't use it. So here we go. You could set 3 alarms throughout the day. You could set them on your phone. You could set them on wherever the heck you want to. 3 alarms. When the alarm goes off, pause. You can even close your eyes for 10 seconds. I didn't say 5 hours, 10 seconds, and ask yourself, what was I just saying to myself? If you want to write it down, don't judge it. Don't even fix it. Just be aware of what you just said. So then you can monitor, you can be aware of what you're saying to yourself, about yourself, or others, because awareness is the first step. You cannot change a conversation you are not aware of, because most people don't know what they just be saying stuff all day, reckless, idle words. So I ask you plainly, are you willing to be disciplined to become a better version of yourself? Anybody want to be better? Only you are responsible for you. And so we will go deeper as we continue expanding in the next session we have. So we are complete for now. I think I've said enough for you guys today to work with. And it's up to you to change your mind, and your ass will follow. Change your conversations, change the old ways of behaving and thinking, and a new man or woman will come forth. Are we clear?
Amen.
Yeah.
All right, so we're gonna recant. I'm gonna go back with Mr. Joe Vels first, since he's looked like he's ready to say something. Let's talk about what you got today or want to input for the session.
No, it's just about having a mindset and being conscious of your thoughts, because your thoughts will determine your actions. You know, like you said, as a man thinketh, so is he. You know, we are human, and we have to consciously be aware of what's ruminating in our head. I mean, you know, you are not your thoughts. You're the observer of your thoughts.
Thank you for sharing. And I'm going to add something to that. We are human, we are spirit having a human experience, and we have all the power we need if we tap into our spirit aspect, meaning our Godship. Then we can operate this ship differently. If
You
we
said that a little backwards. We're spiritual beings having a human experience.
didn't I say that? I said it wrong. That's what I was saying. We are spirit beings having a human experience. And if we go back to our first aspect of spirit, then we can navigate even better through this. Come on. Let's go to Star. And then I'm going to go around to everyone else.
Hello, everyone. I have wrote down as you were talking that we are all a reflection of God, right? So let's continue to trust and stay aligned on our divine purpose. And once again, like you were saying, we all have the power to speak, right? We have authority. So we have to, the same way we have to be careful with our words, we have to be careful with our mindsets. So just to be aware, once again, like you were saying, of our thoughts, of what we speak, what we say, how would I say, anything that we speak of, because it will come to pass, or it could destroy you. It could be, you could manifest good things, but you could also manifest bad things. So just to be aware of that. But once again, it fed my soul, everything that you spoke about. It was another beautiful lesson. So thank you.
All right. Come on, Kirby. Open your mic. Let's see what you got today.
Yes, I enjoy your text for changing the tent of your conversation. I'm going to change my conversation because I had a butt dial the other day, and it was Apostle Bays. Now, for those of you who don't know, Apostle Bays was one of the founders of the Divine. And it was a butt dial that I just happened to see it. And I saw it, and I thought about it, but he called me back. And we spoke, and I'm speaking about it right now because it brought me so much joy. Because I look at Lamont, I look at all the brothers on here, and I feel so much love. And he was brother one, and he says he's coming back, but he did explain to me about some of the trials and tribulations that he was tending to right now. But he always gave me words of power. And thank you for letting me speak about my brother.
Okay. And thank you. So come on, Mo, let me hear from you.
Oh, okay. Hello.
Hello.
Okay. So I was off camera. I was eating because I have two quick testimonies, and they're how I changed the narrative completely with my thoughts and words. So today, my daughter, so she surprised me last weekend. I think it was Sunday. I was so sad to the point where I was listening to a song that we used to listen to in the car, and I was in my feelings, and I started bawling my eyes out. And this was early in the morning, and I said, "Okay, Monique, you've got to get it together. Everything's good. You're going to see her this summer." I was supposed to see her in February, but I don't know if y'all remember the huge snowstorms that were happening, and the flight got canceled, and it did not make sense to rebook because that whole week was nuts. And then I don't know if you all remember the whole Mexican thing with the cartel and everything. I was seeing her because she was about to go to Mexico for a study abroad for 9 days, and it was a very intense week. Turns out that where she went to study for a study abroad was 600 miles away from the chaos. So that calmed me down. She had a great time in Mexico. She's bilingual. She had a great time in Mexico, but I had not seen her. So the goal was for me to go see her, lay eyes, touch her with the oil, all that stuff, spend time, and have her send her off to her way. Didn't get to do that. So of course I'm feeling emotional recently. And 2 days, and so I said, nope, get it together. You're going to see her. You'll be okay. 2 days later, and this is not planned, she calls me and says, "Hey, Mom, I'm coming. I'm home to see you. I miss you. I want to see you. Let's book flights." We have never done that. We're planners. She said, "My school's closed for Good Friday, Monday, and Tuesday. I changed around a work day. I can come from Thursday to Tuesday." So she's here. I dropped her off to work because she's a worker. Where she works, when she swoops in, Kirby knows. And so I dropped her off at 6 this morning. No, well, first, let me go back to, so when I said, "Oh, Monique, get it together. You're going to see her. You're going to be okay." I said that to myself, and I was okay. I went and did errands, and I just left it where it was. And I said, everything's going to work out. So I just want to say that. Fast forward to today. She has a shift at 6 a.m. Now, when you have a child comes home, you're a little bit off your schedule, right? But you're going with the flow. So I had not really eaten like I normally cook and do everything yesterday because we did a play, we went and did stuff. And then this morning she had to be at her work at 6 a.m. So I said, "I'll drive you early, 5 minutes from here." And then I said, "Oh, well, Walmart's, I don't usually go out. Walmart's open. I need to get groceries. I need to do some stuff." And we all know when you go to Walmart, it's never just a 5-minute deal sometimes if you haven't been for a while. And so let me tell you, I had been off my game. I didn't bring my water. I didn't have my electrolytes. I had nothing, right? Since the day before. I had a scarf, a heavy coat, a hoodie. I don't know what I was thinking. It was almost like I thought it was 5 degrees outside. So now I'm shopping. And then all of a sudden, this feeling comes over me. And I know what that is. And I feel like I'm going to literally pass out on the floor. And in the moment, I said, "This is happening." And then I said, "No, this is not happening." I said that to myself, "No, this is not happening." And it flashed to me that I will not have an ambulance come pick me up at Walmart on the floor. I said that. And I said, no. And I didn't even drop the stuff I had and run out. I said, nope, I'm keeping my composure. I'm going to be okay. Calm down, relax. My heart's racing fast. And I'll tell you what I found out about that. My heart's racing fast. Said no, took off my jacket, put it over my shoulder, went to the self-checkout, boom, 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 got my stuff, went to the car, had water in the back, drank my water. I found out that your heart races like that when it's giving you adrenaline, it's giving you a signal, right? And so the short story of it really is I talked myself out of passing out on that damn floor. I was this close, and I passed out as a kid. I know it is like you don't eat. So I knew that feeling, and I rewrote the narrative for myself. And so when I got back in, I got some food, and that's what I was doing. I was eating. But I'm just saying the words are so powerful, and not just words, but thoughts and emotions and feelings. You got to get that out of your head. You got to move forward. Now, of course, I'm in great shape. So I knew it wasn't anything. It wasn't hard. It wasn't chest. I know what that feeling is. And I wasn't going to talk negativity into myself, because at first I said, let me grab a cat. Let me grab someone. I would need to grab a Walmart associate. And I kept saying, not here. Nope, ain't happening today. And I got my butt right out of there and I got home. So anyway, I just want to say words, powerful, you can speak the narrative. So two things happened. My kiddo's here, and I got my butt home safe and sound from my excursion at Walmart this morning. You know, now look, I didn't talk all that. I had all that to say, so I saved it for the end.
Okay. I'm listening. Thank you for the testimony. Very important. I do appreciate you bringing the point out of how you talked yourself out of fear or drama, because you can talk yourself right into it. Most people do. That's why they panic, and then they go through the whole process. Very important how you changed your mind and your ass followed. So that's a great thing, and it can always be done. I do have a word though that I need to give you. I'm weighing the word if I should say it on here or just give it to you separate. Well,
Give it to her separate.
Okay, I will. So it is well. Thank you for sharing that. We're going to go to Lamont.
I got a lot out of what was brought forth to the table, and it was a learning process for a lot of things. And it was something I wanted to say to Al that I didn't get a chance to because we didn't go back to that subject. I don't think you have anything to worry about anybody stealing your casket. Nobody really does that in these cemeteries up here. Maybe in some foreign countries, but I doubt if they're going to go back for yours.
Yeah. True. Okay, thank you. Come on, Cornell. Let's hear from you.
Yes,
I love you, brother.
we went on a subject today that I'm so happy that we did, because just like Al and I were talking about some of our past experience on our other podcast, but you got to stop thinking about that. You got to let that go. I be telling them, dude, who are you to tell me what's gonna come in my brain? And God, from what I understand and heard and read, He's the only one who has a sea of forgiveness. He didn't give me that. He might have gave some of y'all that, but He didn't give me that. And everything that happened to me in my past, it pop up, but I don't dwell on it. But I'm gonna lie to you if I tell you I'm gonna forget it. Cause
That's right.
I ain't gonna never forget it. So everybody to think you supposed to drop it, don't talk. What it is, I don't dwell on it. And every time you see me, I ain't gonna bring it up. But I just like what you read with this morning to let me feel that what I'm thinking is pure and it's the right thing, because you're gonna remember, but you ain't got to
Yeah.
dwell on it.
No.
And one last thing is that when it's time for us to leave this earth, when God says time, you can squabble, wobble, twabble, and twaky, dirky, worky, all you want to, but you're going. But this was a good session to me. We always like to laugh, and I'm a laugher anyway. I'm gonna laugh, but
That you are.
I just excuse me, and I just, but I just remember Al and I talking about what some things happened to us in the past, and we, it ain't gonna go away. But I ain't got to. I'm glad I don't dwell on it. I'm glad that I understand that it's okay if it come back in there in my brain. It's okay.
Mhm.
I had a nice time this time. Thanks to Miss Robinson.
And we were gonna let her say something now. Come on. Let's hear from you, Mother.
Oh boy, all I can say that I have enjoyed listening to everyone talk about this situation. But I talk to myself a lot, and then I have to stop it right then and there. And it's something that I'm kind of going through, and I know the Lord is helping me with this, because I really can't explain this situation right now. But I change when I'm thinking on this thing. I'm thinking about what they should do according to the word, and they're not doing it. And then I be saying things within myself and telling them what they need to do. But I can't seem to I have to change my thinking. That's what I have to do, and just say, Lord, this is you handle, it's not me.
There you go.
But every time this person appeared before me,
then look the other way.
I just
Look
close
the
my
other
mouth.
way.
I can't
I'm
say
gonna help you.
anything. Yeah.
You have allowed that to become your issue.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
So hear me now. Al gave you the example. I told him, every time I look out that back door, I get mad. I wanted to shoot somebody. I said, stop looking out the doggone back door. and go look out the front door. And he
Yeah,
did.
I know.
And he
But this,
no, but we hold on, you get ready to justify it and you gonna make it work. No, you just have to say, no, I'm not dealing with that. Stop. If something don't look good, you say, I don't like looking at that, then stop doggone looking at it. Look the other way. And we have to practice this law right here. You can take this to the bank. It's called the law of allowing. Mother, look at the
you're
screen.
saying, son,
Look
I
at
know what you're
look at
saying.
me. No, look at the screen. Look at me. The law of allowing, my dear. The law of allowing means I'm going to allow you to be mother. I'm going to allow Robin to be who she is and Al to be who he is. I might want to change you and say, come here, let me get this screwdriver and tighten that little screw and you will be okay. But who the hell am I to change you? I have no right. So if somebody wants to go over here and shake their groove thing, they want to go over there and smoke the crack, you want to go over there and do the whack, go on.
I know exactly what you are
But you don't have to
saying.
talk about it, love, dear, hun bun. You don't have to say it's okay.
All right, son, I know what you were saying.
Why you want
That's
to
all I'm
you
gonna
want to
say.
justify it?
I know, I know,
No.
I know what to do.
Well, then do it, and then you won't have to
But
say this no more. Love
I
you.
won't do. You just don't know.
No,
But
no,
especially if it's a family
it
member.
don't matter. I know family members that's crazy as hell. Let them stay over there. Do what I'm gonna mess with you with. Reverend Ike, he said it could be Christmas. You can send them a card. Don't put a return address. They don't need to know where you at.
I'm telling you. Whew.
No,
Okay.
you have to hear that.
I
Leave
understand
them
exactly
where
what you're
they
saying.
are. No, you still got it on your face, but I love you. We're gonna go to Al and Robin. Let's go.
All right. Okay.
Okay, hook a Messiah, shoot a mosquito. We ain't talking.
You better leave my moms alone.
He
Yo,
sure had better leave me
I'm gonna get
alone.
her and I'm gonna get you to say something slick when you talk. Come on, let's go. What you got to say?
You want me to say something? I'm gonna tell you what I learned.
I know. Come on. What you
All right. Because I know you be talking about me and your mind. What I want to say is I appreciate everyone that's on this line. And Kirby, I appreciate you sharing that because I called Apostle Bays. He never called me back. Because I was concerned about him. I'm concerned about my twin, concerned about a lot of people. But what I learned, I used to think that everything I did was wrong because people said, you're always doing the wrong thing. So I did the wrong thing. But then when I started to become a Christian, I learned by studying certain scriptures that everything I did wasn't wrong. It was just the lesson to set me up for my success where I'm at now. You know, I shared with you all one time, a little kid, I was like in my early 20s, 3 years old, kicked me in the shin. I kicked him back. Father pulled the gun out and wanted to shoot me. I said, go ahead, because I didn't care. You know, but what I realized is that I am a better man. You know, this morning I went out early. My wife made 2 bags of groceries. I gave it to one of the homeless guys that I take care of. And I gave him $10 so he had coffee to go to the doctor or whatever he need to do. And that's one of the guys I hugged. He smelled like helicopter smoke, but I give him a hug when I see him. And he said, Albert, I don't smell, I got raggedy clothes on. And I said, so, but for the grace of God, I could be you.
Right.
So I gave him a hug. I said, I'm not giving you a hug for you, I'm giving you a hug for me. Because I was thanking God. I was thanking God. You know, every time I think about where he brought me from, where he got me at now, I start crying. I don't care anymore who sees me cry because those are my prayers.
Yes.
And me worshiping and giving God the glory. I didn't learn to cry until I was 41. I've been beaten up with pipes, thrown off a 2-story roof, stabbed, you know, in the head. I got stabbed in the body. You know, it's just, I am so blessed. All of us. And you're right. I'm going to share something that I have not shared. I've been fearful of this new situation that I'm not aware of. They gave me some tests and it wasn't good. I couldn't lay on the special MRI. I had to go to a special one because I got all this metal in my body, both knees, hips, and my back wouldn't lay straight. And I'm just concerned. I'm not worried. So I'm gonna change that narrative. Thank you, Mo, because that was touching. And I love all of y'all. All of y'all. You don't have no idea. Your family. See, I was born in a family I don't want to be in. My sisters and brothers don't even know where I live at. And that's sad. Now I'm talking Christ-like to y'all, but what am I doing with my sisters and brothers that I raised? So I'm reaching out to them because I can't be a good Christian if I'm not trying to do the right thing with my family, because I had so much pain back there. I don't want to look at it. But I'm going to say this and be quiet. The one thing I learned yesterday, we had 7 preachers in our church from 12 to 3. The one thing I learned yesterday from one of the preachers, and I realized I never had that conversation with God. I never had a serious conversation like how I'm sharing my fear with y'all about this health scare that I got coming now. But it's not a health scare because I'm changing the narrative. I'm gonna be walking soon, Rob. I walk around the house now a little bit without the crutches. I gotta feel the wall, but I'm getting better and better and different. And I want to say, all of y'all have a happy Easter. I pray for you all the time. And my brother over there, I gotta call him. Y'all take care, okay? And have a happy, safe holiday. And say something kind to a stranger.
Thank you. You too.
Yeah, you too. I gotta go. Y'all be blessed and have a happy Easter.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay,
All
Mom.
right, take care. Be safe.
Robin.
Go, Rob. Everybody else went.
Yes, you. Mhm.
Class went by too fast today.
Oh yeah.
But it was a great class. It really was. I am constantly working to be aware of what I'm thinking and what is coming out of my mouth. Because like I said earlier, I had a situation like a couple of Thanksgivings ago, and it hit me like, in terms of what I was saying over myself, and it came to fruition. So I'm very mindful of that. I'm very mindful of being in the company of other people and they're talking not like kind of like damnation over whoever's in the company of their conversation. And I'm like quick to say, no, I rebuke that. I am not, you talk that over yourself, but we are not going there on this side of the fence. We're not doing that. So I think that's really important because words are so powerful. And like we used to, what was the one of the sayings we used to have, sticks and stones, that, and that is so untrue. that is so untrue. So I'm very aware of what I work to every day, be very aware of what I'm speaking over myself. And like he was saying, Master Rob, just in terms of the conversations that other people have, people really do talk negatively over their self. Like you said, I believe 90% of the time. And just not realizing how powerful those words are and just speaking their own damnation, their own like just speaking death as opposed to life over yourself, and I think, for a lot of us, we were raised in a time where, that's what was portrayed more so than negative things, also just in terms of medication, all the medication they push, in terms of what you need to be better and everything, it's supposed to heal one thing and it gives you an issue with something else, so I'm really very conscious about that, how the powers that be, They really work to have you think all of these things that are not true. If you don't educate yourself and have a mind of your own, you could be sucked into what they're putting out there, constantly, 24/7. So I just appreciate these classes so much because it keeps me focused, and it keeps me constantly remembering how I want to how I want my thinking to be, what I want to speak over myself, what things like you said, living in abundance, living in health, living in wealth, living in prosperity, and also remembering, how to just speak towards other people or things, I think towards other people, making sure those things are like you were saying with Philippians, whatever's kind, whatever's just, whatever is about love and kindness, so just being mindful of that, being very intentional about that, because I know I have a frame of reference for when I don't, I have my own personal story. So it's not like I'm speaking something that's not true for me. I lived it. I spoke it and then I lived it, and then I lived it and understood that no, you don't want to do that. You want to speak health and wealth over yourself, and learning how to speak differently, because that's also very important, because if we're used to speaking a certain way, having the tools, having the words to practice speaking over yourself in a different way. I thought, I've gotten a lot of that from your classes as well. So it was a great class, as usual. So thank you for letting me share.
Join us a picture.
Oh,
So
Yeah, one of
That was a gift from Tony.
yeah,
Me and
that's so
Robin,
nice.
I want you all to see it.
yeah,
And you'll see me. Yeah, see it?
yeah,
Wow.
okay.
yeah.
That's beautiful.
Who's that guy on the right?
I don't know. That's some drunk.
So see, we ain't gonna even mess with him. Today's message on changing the tense of your conversation was just a powerful reminder that your words, both spoken and unspoken, are actively creating your reality. You learn that internal dialogue shapes your external experience, and that by becoming aware of what you say to yourself, about yourself, others, and your circumstances, you can begin to shift your life. We heard that even from Mo as well as Robin. And I would suggest these key takeaways: words carry vibration and frequency. The past doesn't have to control you. You are a co-creator. Agreement starts within yourself. Practice awareness. Set alarms throughout the day to check, what was I just saying to myself? And the invitation is clear: to stop speaking from lack, doubt, and fear. Instead, speak from the wish fulfilled. Talk as if you already have it. We heard Joe Bell say, call those things as though they were. Remember that scripture. When you change your internal narrative, the external world must follow. This isn't about positive thinking alone. It's about conscience alignment with divine, with the Most High, and recognizing that you are the Word made flesh and dwelling among us. And remember, you're not waiting to get into God's presence. You never left it. Return home to knowing, and watch everything begin to shift as you do that. Ahmed, you want to say anything? And if not, we will close out in prayer. And I heard Mo just whisper to me that she's going to do it. Okay. Come on, Mo.
Is it me? I'm going to do it now?
Yeah, go on.
Okay. Father God, thank you for today's message and the masterclass series that we had the last several weeks that still reverberates. Thank you for reminding us that our words, our thoughts, and our intentions truly matter. Help us to be more mindful of what we speak, more intentional about what we allow into our lives, in our minds, and more disciplined in choosing thoughts that bring life, peace, and clarity. Lord, guide us to create from a place of purpose, not fear, and to trust that what we put out into the world shapes what comes back to us. We ask that you continue to bless Master Rob, cover him, strengthen him, and everyone as well, those watching live, those watching the recordings. Let it take root in our lives and show up in how we think, speak, and live. I ask all of these in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
And so it is, and can be no other way. Please consider looking at your text message and give to the community. Some of you already have. We thank you all for who are consistently doing that. Thank you, Robin. Thank you, Star and Al, for your contributions, and Jovel for yours, and my mother, Anmo. Thank you all for your part. Have an amazing day on purpose and enjoy a little bit of warmth today. It's going to be a little bit warmer, so enjoy that. Peace and blessings to each of you.
Peace.
Bye, everyone.
Peace.
Have a
Bye.
great weekend.
You
Bye,
too.
everyone.
And a happy Easter.
Oh, I just got to get my notes.
Thank
Hold
you.
on.
Oh,
Got to copy my notes
well,
with AI, my AI companion.
I'll have to give it to you. How much time do you need? I'm going to cut.
No,
you.
just 2 seconds. I'm just copying right now on my notes.
Right. So
That's all I needed. That's all I
Okay.
needed.